You are a successful businesswoman whose life takes a drastic turn when the insurgency in the northeastern part of Nigeria peaks. You move from town to town, fleeing the attacks of terrorists until you finally settle in the northwestern part of the country. But this displacement has taken you through 12 towns and a foreign country. It has taken everything from you: your wealth, your home, and even your precious, precious children. Welcome to Vestiges of Violence. Here, we talk about survivors. For Human Angle, I am Sabika. This is a story of multiple displacements and a struggle to find home. This is the story of Binta Bukar, a 54-year-old mother whose life has been a series of devastating losses. Before the insurgency, Binta lived in Dikwa, Borno State, northeast Nigeria with her family. She has now relocated 13 times, traveling through Niger Republic and living in 12 towns, including Baga, Damasak, Hadejia, before finally arriving in Sokoto, northwest Nigeria, where she hopes to settle for good. On the day that haunts her most, a bomb had gone off where she lived. News of the Boko Haram insurgents had been traveling around town, and so when the attack came close, they fled. In the chaos, she did not realize that she had run in a different direction from her two children. Both of them have been lost since. Not a word about them has reached her all these years. But even to this day, Binta and her husband continue to search for them.
A life where you lose everything, your children, your wealth, your shelter, is a very difficult life. Leaving your home, even if it's made of sticks, is painful. Everywhere we went, Boko Haram followed us. We would be told they've arrived and we would have to flee again.
Once a successful businesswoman, Binta saved enough to restart her trade, selling shoes, hijabs, and earrings. However, she lost everything when she was robbed of her products and money, leaving her with a debt of about 200,000 naira. She would be taken to court by her debtors, eventually bailed, and start a food business from which she has now managed to pay off more than half her debt. Binta now lives in Raminkura, where the men of the community offer little support despite the challenges they face. They only appear when aid is distributed, she says, claiming to be heads of the households. But they are absent in times of need. When someone falls ill or an injustice occurs, it is the women who come together to help. They are often forced to use most of the aid they occasionally receive to bail themselves or relatives out of unjust arrests. These arrests happen because of a series of problems. Recently, it has been because the women's leader is fighting over child custody with a man.
I don't know their full story, but the man would always create a scene. He will order the arrest of many people in the camp, including our women's leader. She has been taken away like 3 times for no good reason.
Living in the settlement is far from easy. Binta has given birth to 2 children here. They go to a traditional Islamic school, but she's not able to afford formal education for them. They have no access to healthcare and no money for medication. Binta was slightly more comfortable before, but since she uses most of her money to pay off debt now, she struggles to cater for herself and her children.
Even when someone dies, we have to beg for money to buy the white clothes to wrap the body. We are truly struggling, but I believe God will help us out with this.
Despite the challenges, Binta holds on to her faith. She believes that the God who put them in this difficult situation will also be the one to guide them out of it. This episode was reported by Abubakar Gumi. Scripted and presented by Sabiq Abello. Edited, mixed, and mastered by Alamin Omar. Executive producer is Ahmed Salkida. In order to protect the identities of survivors, we use voice actors for this episode. If you or anyone you know have a story to share on vestiges of violence, do not hesitate to get in touch with us.